Hello, welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Boy, Matto Phillips. How's things, mate?
Boy, haven't heard that word in a while. Oh boy.
But it could be coming back. So, I guess, what do you think about that before we really dive into the nuts and bolts of
Ooh.
this thing?
I'm excited. I'm excited for anything God of War related.
Yeah.
That's Norse. I should say Norse. Norse themed God of War.
I can't remember. Have you played any of the Greek ones, though?
Yeah, I played 1, 2, and 3. Did not play Ascension.
Ghost of Sparta.
Or yeah, I
Chains of
played those
Olympus.
two.
That's fair.
No.
Definitely worth getting back to if you want to give some of those ones a crack, especially less so Ascension, but it's still decent enough.
Well, I don't really think I need to play Ascension because I already know the answer to the question: what happens to Kratos' family? He kills them.
Well, spoilers for everyone. Let's get that out of the way.
I mean, spoilers. I mean, he only says it so many times during 1 to 3. Oh, I killed my family. I'm like, well, congratulations. Do you want a medal for that?
Yeah. So we'll get it out of the way. Spoilers for this episode. We are going to be diving into God of War Ragnarok and a few key things that happen along the way because there's a report going around that has then been substantiated a little bit by the likes of Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming. And once Tom usually gets involved, there's a little bit of added weight to the whole thing because he just seems to have sources everywhere these days.
Is it a source or a reliable source?
I can't remember what it said.
It's the two things here. If it's a reliable source, it cannot be trusted. A source, yes, it is trusted.
There's something to that. But anyway, the talk is that God of War Ragnarok is going to be getting Miles Morales style expansion. That will apparently be.
So Kratos goes on holidays.
Well, yeah, I guess if we really lean into the whole Miles Morales style thing, then we won't have the main character. We won't have Kratos, but we'll wait and see in that regard. But yeah, apparently Miles Morales style expand alone, like the standalone expansion style thing, that'll be announced at the Game Awards in like a month at this point. We're that close to kind of.
I think so. I think Jeff Keighley's already tweeted about it.
He's set up some I follow the guy on Instagram, and he's somehow set up some chat or whatever. I've seen now both the Player 2 account and my personal one get roped into a thing that he set up ages ago now. I suddenly got added into some channel that he set up on Instagram that was like Summer Games Fest, and the first post was just 3 weeks till Summer Games Fest, and then as he
then next week 2 weeks till Summer Games Fest, then 1 week 24 hours 4 hours. And 1 hour.
Then as soon as that one's done, then he moves on to it'll get changed to okay, now we're 1 week until our Game Awards Orchestra concert at the Hollywood Bowl, and then okay, now we're off to Gamescom opening night live. He just keeps changing the chat. Now on October 7th, it was the last time I got something there. It was 2 months until the Game Awards, and then on Monday he changed the channel to Jeff Updates.
Jeff Update. That's creative.
But on the flip side, I then go and check the Player 2 Instagram account, and they got that account got added into specifically the Game Awards 2023 channel, only a couple of days ago. And
you know why we got added for? You know why?
We're judges this year.
No, because of our cooking videos.
Possibly.
Because those cooking videos get everywhere. Oh, here we go.
Right, this is Jeff's little.
Hey guys, it's Jeff Keighley, and welcome to the Game Awards broadcast channel on Instagram. We're getting ready for the live show on December 7th, so stay tuned for updates.
That was his first little thing there. Oh,
has he got nothing to do? Oh, Jeff, what do you...
Peacock Theater, formerly known as the Microsoft Theater, home to the Game Awards, and we are doing some meetings today, getting ready for the big live show on Thursday, December 7th. I hope to see you then, and stay tuned to our Instagram broadcast channel for updates on the show in the coming days and weeks.
Has someone checked on Jeff lately? I think he's got nothing to do. Just waiting for one. I wonder if he's got snipers this year at the Game Awards.
Oh yeah. Anyone just starts to walk anywhere near and start talking about Bill Clinton, you look out, it's on.
And just any stupid dickhead interfering with that stage, take him out.
Yeah, who knows at this point? So. All right, so yeah, Jeff's getting up to it, and as he says, December 7th. So that's a month from the day this episode goes live.
Or 3 weeks.
A month from the day this episode goes live. So I guess let's dive into all things God of War. And for starters, I guess the idea of this thing, do you believe it for starters? Do you think it's feasible, possible,
Possible, yes.
likely? Question mark.
Oh, I don't know about likely because I just scratched my
And
head.
and forget the timing. We'll get to the timing and all those sort of things. But like, do you
Not so
think
much.
it's just likely that we're going to get something like that?
Oh, I'd like to say yes, but you just don't know. It could be just, a backpack that they're just talking up. I don't know. Some DLC. I don't know. It's one of those things because I just think all the things that I think, oh, right, that's good enough for the next story. But unless they've got a big story to go, then why not have a little spin-off game in between, just like with Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, I mean Miles popping in the middle and all that sort of stuff. So there's lots of there's options for them. I'm inclined to believe that it's a thing. I mean, it's a like PlayStation have been building this up over the last few years. You think about what they did, even going back as far as something like infamous Second Son getting the first light standalone, the standalone game there. We obviously we think of Spider-Man as another example. Horizon has had them, though they've not been standalone. They were more traditional sort of DLC expansions, but we saw one for both Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. Mentioned Spider-Man. Ghost of Tsushima had the Iki Island thing as well. So
multiplayer.
Sucker Punch
yes.
really likes to do that stuff because they doubled down with multiplayer as well. The Last of Us had Left Behind back in 2013. Like there's a whole bunch of different PlayStation Studios titles that have done this. So I think in terms of the idea, like it doesn't feel like it's an unlikely thing, and they've got, I guess, options that they could pursue when it comes to like what sort of story they go down. I guess we'll dive into that in a sec. In terms of the timeline, I guess this Game Awards thing, I feel like that's pretty possible as well. I mean, it'll be more than a year at that point. You could very easily see Jeff getting up there and kind of introducing it as, the game, being a bit cagey about what the game is for a while, but this game was nominated blah, 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 blah times. It won this many awards. It lost Game of the Year to Elden Ring because fuck Elden Ring. Jeff would have said that because he hates FromSoft. No,
hey, they've won 2 awards. You can't do nothing about that.
He loves them. He is so deeply up Miyazaki's ass. It's not even funny. But
so far that when they got their little awards, they photoshopped that dickhead out, and it makes it even better. I think that's brilliant by From Software. It's like, what's the best thing to do? Ignore him and take him out. Exactly. Technology these days is great.
Yeah, to rub salt in the wound, they AI'd him out. So yeah, they've got their options anyway, and I feel like that timeline kind of makes sense, especially in this weird window that we're in at the moment, where PlayStation hasn't really said a lot about what's coming. The Horizon DLC took about 12 months.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. What Sony's number one thing that they don't do good at all is communicate.
Yeah, and especially in the last 12 months, they've just been dead silent.
Absolutely horrible at it. It's just, oh, hey, by the way, guys, we're putting prices up. Cool, see you later. It's like, oh, hang on a second, just what? Like, out the door he goes, and then there's all these layoffs going on, and then you think, hey, what's going on, Sony? Not Jim. There's not a Jim doing. This is a whole Sony.
This is a Jim doing. This is all.
What's
Jim.
Not
Bungie.
Oh,
not Bungie. Not Bungie.
This is his retirement package. Like, my retirement package is to let go of many people, and people that have been there for a long time.
I'm near certain that because he's pushed so many teams to adopt the multiplayer live service thing, and they've started to realize maybe not the best idea, that they've now started laying a bunch of people off. So that's my theory anyway.
All those people that said
based on things I haven't heard. So
is multiplayer stupid? Yes, get out.
Well, yeah, it could be as simple as that. But no, I just think like maybe some of their ideas are not working out because they're realizing, oh shit, this is too big of a risk now. Let's go back to what we normally do, which means we lay off a bunch of multiplayer focused people, or we've got to go back to the drawing board, which means all these jobs, programmers and stuff that aren't needed yet because we're back to pre-production. They just aren't relevant or required anymore, so they lose their jobs, which is kind of the shitty thing about the games industry. But maybe we'll do an episode on unionization in games at some point in the future. But yeah, I feel like it's semi likely that it's going to happen. So if it does, when do you think this thing drops before we get to the contents of it?
Well, I would think I was gonna say early next year, but I think maybe March, April. If they're gonna announce it at the Game Awards, you would hope it's somewhere around the corner, not a year off, because people are just gonna get impatient and go, "Hey, where's this game?" You would think maybe the first quarter of next year.
Yeah,
possibly.
I'd want to think it's pretty early on. I think like they've got their own first party stuff that's coming in, or maybe soon to be first party, I guess. Stuff coming in Feb, with Helldivers 2 being early Feb. They've also got Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth that's an exclusive of theirs at the end of Feb. So I don't see him going as soon as January. So you're probably right, in kind of March or later feels like the right thing. I don't think they'll mess around too much. I think March or April is perhaps the best spot for it. There's a little bit of me that's just kind of yelling in my head saying it could be a stealth drop, but where they just go like, and here it is, boom, which would be like, that'd shake the floors of the joint if they did it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's been relative silence out of the studio, so their media circus wasn't as long after Ragnarok, and I guess maybe because Elden Ring was the one that took the big awards off them in the end. But I feel like it's possible. But yeah, I'm probably leaning to your side, which is March, April, something like that. If you've got Helldivers and then big God of War expansion in the first half of the year, then you really don't, and Final Fantasy 7 as well, you don't really have to do anything else until July, August at the soonest, if that's the case.
And you don't want to go anywhere near October, November area, because you leave breathing space for Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine's still meant to be back end of next year, so
you want to give that some breathing space. So it's kind of stupid for God of War to go anywhere near that month, and also that's a long way off. So yeah, so I would hopefully think March, April next year would be great, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? PlayStation seems to march their own beat, but also Santa Monica's been putting out 10 out of 10s for the last few games, so you wouldn't necessarily blame them if they want to take their time and make sure they nail it as well. So I guess that takes us to the actual contents itself. If this thing's going to happen, where do you think they're going to go first? And then maybe we can kind of wander in, what do we want them to do?
Wow.
And this is where, everyone at this point, now we are leaning super heavily into spoilers, so just be super mindful at this point. I don't know what Matto's going to say, but there's a very good chance we're going to be diving into spoilers with a bunch of stuff.
I would like to see just a game of just Kratos in anger management, which he doesn't necessarily need anymore, because at the end of the game, he accepts he should stop killing people. He's come to acceptance of that, which is great, because he's just gone, every time I kill someone, everything turns to shit.
Funny about
that. Maybe we can go on a beach somewhere, just
so you can do anger management, hang out with Jack Nicholson and Adam Sandler, and have a good time.
And Happy Gilmore.
Start singing songs.
Play some golf. Why not?
What's the song they sing in anger management that just drives him mad?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, is it the Carpenters or something? Oh, I can't remember. All I remember is Goosefaba. Or Woolsfaba.
Oh, they sing I Feel Pretty. Can you imagine Kratos singing I Feel Pretty?
I could see that. 100% I could see that. And he was watching a basketball game saying you got to dunk that shit. But no, I think
I'm all about it.
It would be great, but let's be honest. If there was parody game developers out there that would love to do that, or some animation people, cartoons,
even AI,
I would
don't care at this point.
Or you could just type in AIs like Kratos on a beach during anger management. Whatever you call it. Management or whatever. I can't remember. But I honestly think he's Googling it, or AI in it. I don't know. It could turn into something ugly.
I honestly don't really know how to use most of these AI platforms.
Me either. I've never used them.
Super staunchly opposed to them, but we'll see. We'll see what comes up out of all this. I don't know.
But I honestly think that we won't see Kratos much. I feel like it will be more aimed at, like you say, a spin off to like Miles Morales.
Yep.
Atreus. And the
Which
adventures of Atreus.
is a pretty logical sort of path. Would they? I guess I'll throw my suggestion in a sec as well. But would they still call it God of War at that point, or considering he is Loki,
Oh boy,
would they
boy,
change the
boy of
title?
war,
God of Boy would obviously be awesome, but
God of boy.
like Loki's the god of
Mischief.
mischief. Yeah,
I'm only going off the Marvel thing, so I could be wrong there.
yeah.
I say mischief, but he doesn't seem to be the very mischief type.
Yeah, he's classified Loki is the god of mischief. So, but I don't think you can call it God of Mischief. It doesn't.
I don't think
Unless that's the
doesn't
subtitle.
sound right.
Unless that's the subtitle.
God of War Mischief.
The God of War. Yeah, God of War, the God of Mischief. Yeah, I don't know. That's why we don't do these things. Maybe it's just called God of War Atreus.
That sounds like the more logical thing, but also the most boring title as well. You could put that up, and then people are just going to go, it's the internet. They'll come up with their own better names for the next God of War game, and their own stupid art to go with it. It'll be brilliant, as it always is with the internet, with their creativeness and stupidity at the same time. And you look at it and go, that's great. And hopefully the same boat animation is also in this DLC spin-off game as well. So people can complain about all three games having the same
boat animation.
Get in the boat animation.
So for me, I want to see something that focuses on Thrud. So this is, real spoilers for people. Thrud being Thor's daughter.
Oh, yes. I never thought of that. I didn't think of the other side.
Maybe see her pick up dad's hammer. I don't what the feasibility is.
Is this like a My Name is Mayo thing where you just tap an X button 30,000 times to pick up the hammer to be worthy?
And then
you are worthy.
Press X to be worthy.
Oh, man.
So it'd be kind of something really fascinating around what they could do there. You've obviously got the relationship between Kratos and Sindri that they can lean into.
I sort of feel like that would be the third one. It's been the destruction of Sindri because things.
Well, that.
Absolute ape shit, and it was cool as well seeing evil Sindri at the end there. Just no care given at all.
Ragnarok was meant to be the final game in this thing, and it pretty well put an end cap. Like they snuffed out the big Norse god threats, so and didn't really kind of tease another one, if I recall. Like I feel like it was a pretty tight ending.
They just climbed up a mountain. And that was it. Like Atreus said, "See, Dad, I'm going for a walk." He never came back.
Yeah.
And then I forgot what the lady's name was. What's the lady's name?
Again, my one from before. Thrud.
No, the one.
Oh,
okay.
Freya.
Freya's like, I've got nothing to do. I'll follow you, Kratos. And then the adventure begins again.
So I don't know. Like, I mean, there's scope for them to potentially even start wandering into another. Like maybe this thing ends with them starting to lean into another mythology that they're going to go explore. Like right at the end. I don't know.
Going to Persia. We're going to this desert.
Going to go kill the prince. Just before he puts out his new game.
Go kill the Prince of Persia. And we finally find out why Prince of Persia is no more.
I mean, I'd be interested to see if they went like a Chinese mythology or something like that, because we don't see a lot of that depicted in games. That'd be kind of cool.
Yes.
I don't know much about Chinese gods and stuff, but like...
Me either. Didn't know anything about Norse gods either, or Greek gods, or any gods to be mad up. That would be interesting. But how would they do it so it doesn't get offensive? That's the key thing.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Samurai Kratos. I know that's Japanese, but that would be funny. Just seeing Japanese Kratos. Ninja Kratos.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. He can lean into kind of the body paint sort of culture thing and get his old red marks and like just lean right into it.
Samurai sword and all. No, he's got to bring the blades of chaos.
Of course.
You can't ditch them.
And
No
like,
way.
does he have to bring a hammer with him? The axe with him now that he's going to a new region? I think he has to.
Yeah, he just has to bring everything with him on his trip.
Every new like
Axe.
arc that he goes on, he has to acquire this new weapon that he carries with him. So he's got. I mean, to be fair, it's not ridiculous what he's got with the chains and the axe, but you got to add something else in there too. So he's got a spear now too.
Oh yeah, the spear. I forgot about the spear. Oh
I don't
man,
know.
he's gonna be loaded.
Who knows? Are there any other options that you're kind of thinking of when it comes to like narrative pathways? Or I guess we've kind of spoken about what we want. What do you think they'll do?
Oh, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Because there's so many options they can go with. They can go with the trace. They can go with the aftermath of Sindri trying to find him and where he's gone. You can also go with Kratos and wanting closure on all those people he killed. That he feels
There's no
bad
reason
about
why
now.
they can't go Kratos for sure. Like,
Yeah,
I know we kind of, Miles Morales style thing, so it's also going to focus on a new character, but they totally don't need to do that. They could just stick with Kratos again.
he could just go on an adventure. He could just go on an adventure, just say, "Yeah, sorry, I killed your family," and just move on to the next family and just say, "Yeah, sorry," because he's not an angry person at the end of Ragnarok. If you've ever done the Valkyrie boss thing, if anyone has done it, spoiler, he doesn't kill it.
I mean,
But I can't remember who does though. But he goes about to kill it, then just goes, no.
yeah, it's all pretty cool.
And I thought that absolutely threw me. I was like, oh, here we go. He's going to chop the head off, and he's gone. No, I was like, oh, he has changed. Finally, for once.
It took a while.
It took a while. Though it took 5 games to finally, or no, more than that.
About 8.
1 to 3, Ascension, 2 PSP
there's
games.
6 that are all Greek. There's 2 that are Norse.
There you go. 8 games. It finally took him to go.
Show some restraint.
To finally say no. That he finally learnt in life that you can say no.
You don't have to kill someone, but anyway, we'll see. He's got to kill most of the time. It's not going to work, I don't think, otherwise. But look, there is absolutely the possibility they could stick with Kratos and kind of bounce around with what he's doing with Freya. I don't know. I feel like the old God of War Atreus option is probably the most likely one. They've already set up mechanics, obviously. Like, maybe it becomes a bit more. I suppose like he's used the bow, but also you do get to engage in melee combat as well. So I don't know. There's a few different options they could potentially go with here. I think
finally see some giants.
Yeah,
The land of giants.
Atreus is very stealthy. Like, he can obviously use range stuff. He can go kind of melee, but
does he go invisible?
He's pretty flimsy. I can't remember. He turns into the wolf and stuff.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah, and a bear. That's
right. A bear. So like, there may be ways to kind of tackle big heavies along the way. So I think mechanically they're probably set up for it, and kind of narratively they can. Like, the narrative and kind of the skill set that he has then allows him to lean into it gameplay wise. So they've got the options there, but I don't know. It feels like that's the most likely, but I'd love to see through it. I wouldn't object if it was kind of Kratos and Freya, if that ended with them kind of linking into maybe what the next mythology was. I don't think I could deal with Kratos and Freya in the Norse setting still, or like, sorry, I could deal with it in the Norse setting if it teased then what comes next. But if they don't do that, I think I'd probably start to get a little bit tired of it. I don't know, it's weird because that's kind of like the end notes. So like, I get to the end and then they don't, like, I'm happy, I've enjoyed myself, and then they don't tease what comes next. I'm like, oh well, that was shit then. Like, that's clearly not gonna be. I don't know. It's a weird one.
It is, because like you said, at the end of Ragnarok, there wasn't anything to say. There was a third game. There was just nothing. Wasn't like the first God of War where Kratos looked on the painting and saw him supposedly dying, and that was pretty much what all of Ragnarok was just him thinking, yeah, I'm gonna die, and the expectation he was gonna die. And would you believe?
Surprise, he didn't, because Kratos keeps avoiding death.
Yep, somehow keeps avoiding death, and all he does is cause death, and then realize one day he's gone, well, I should probably stop doing this.
Pretty much. And here we are.
Here we are.
Any other thoughts then?
No. Can't really say.
How long would you want it to be? Regardless, I
Ooh.
guess, what path we go down. We obviously know that the original, like 2018, was about 15, 16 hours. This one kind of bloated to be on 20. Sorry, I shouldn't use the word bloat. It was still a really
Was not
tight,
bloat.
well-designed experience.
Yeah.
But, you know, the game clock bloated out. What would you want this to be?
I would say between maybe 10 to 20.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's kind of 8 to 10.
Roughly.
I'm hoping that it really does
10?
embrace the Miles Morales thing and it's kind of short. Also, considering if they're developing this thing in basically like a year or so, I can't imagine it being super long either. There's no way they would have really been working on this at the same time as the core game. So I feel like, yeah, that 6 to 8 to 10 sort of window is probably the right one, and I'd be totally happy with that. They just have to set the price accordingly. Maybe it's 100 Aussie dollars instead of 125 or something like that. 50 US instead of 60, whatever the case ends up being. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of the sweet spot lengthwise, and then they can probably just include some modes and those sort of things, or like arena style thing that kind of adds to your game time if that's what you want.
Oh, yes.
That could be
Whatever that stupid thing you have to do in the other two games. I forget, where you just have to, do 100 levels of killing enemies.
Oh yeah, the towers and all those sorts of things. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a definite option. I don't know if there's. I mean, considering the live service thing, is there an opportunity for some sort of competitive multiplayer little mode on the side, like a Legends style? Oh no, Legends is still the cooperative style, Destiny style.
I feel like it'll just be like a co-op arena where you just go through levels. I don't see you just fighting each other.
It'd be kind of cool if you did, though.
If you did, yeah, great. But I just don't know how it would work.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, there'd need to be a fair bit going on with it. I don't know. We ended the Greek thing with some multiplayer, and it didn't work out super well in Ascension. So maybe we don't want to end the Norse arc with multiplayer either.
Multiplayer.
We'll see.
So has there ever been a multiplayer in God of War?
In Ascension.
Oh, is there? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it was one of the multitude of things that wasn't quite right about Ascension. That just kind of knocked it down to like a 7 out of 10 rather than the 9+ that every other God of War basically is. All right, we'll wrap things up there then. Obviously, we've got something to look forward to potentially in a month from now at the Game Awards. We'll see whether Jeff and co announce it. Again, I feel like it's pretty obvious the ways they could do it if that's the thing. So we'll just have to wait and see. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, etc. Lots of cool stuff there. And certainly a lot about the Game Awards when the time comes. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks, lower tiers early access, higher tiers monthly episode exclusives, and finally there's Twitter, Matto.
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for myself. The website is player2au. Let us know in the comment section, what do you think, what do you want from a God of War expansion, standalone game, whatever you want to call them, who cares. Let us know what you're thinking, whether you think it'll happen, when it comes out, when it gets announced, all those sort of things. It's all still rumours at the moment, but we'll see soon enough. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next week for episode 300, we've realised.
300.
300.